Good morning. I'd like to call the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. It's April 6, 2015. It is now 8:34. First order of business, it is the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to ask Selectman McKellarney to lead us, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Gary. Item 2, public forum. Any item on the agenda, limited to 3 minutes. I don't see anybody wishing to address the board, so we'll move on to item 3. 3.1, approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of March 16th. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any additions or corrections?
Nope.
Did you have any?
Nope.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. 3.2, approval of the minutes for a special meeting on March 24th. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any additions or corrections? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 3.3, March 26th, special meeting. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any additions or corrections?
Nope.
Okay, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay. Item 4, 4.1, I don't see the facilities, operations facilities director for the Board of Ed, so we'll move on to item 5, which is the police chief, Jeff Hutchinson. Morning, Chief, and congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
5.1, discuss and take possible action on award of bid 15-1415, upgrade analog CCTV system to IP network system. Okay.
As described, what we're looking to do is upgrade our CCTV system. The system that's in the building was original to the building, which is about 18 years old. Over the last several years, we've been having issues with the equipment failing. We actually have several cameras and monitors right now that we're not repairing in anticipation of replacing them with upgraded system. We didn't think it made a lot of sense to spend a couple $1,000s on something that's outdated. So we planned on this last year, budgeted for it, and the bid went out. We interviewed 4 candidates out of 12 bidders, narrowed down the recommendations to 4, interviewed those, and what we're recommending is we go with Strategic Security for $57,500 to replace our analog system with a web-based IP system. They, in addition to being the lowest bidder, actually had the best product for us, quickest turnaround time, and they actually happen to be our current vendor. So it all kind of worked out for us. So the Police Commission at their last meeting agreed with that recommendation. I believe sent a letter over to the town, and we're looking to have an approval to move forward with the replacement using Strategic Security as our vendor.
Okay.
What was the budget?
Yep.
The budget was $85,000, so we're well under budget, which was good news for us.
Yep. Good news for
And the town.
and the town. Okay.
I would move that we approve this. I hate to be so easy on you,
Right.
first time showing up as chief, but I would move that we approve the bid of $57,500 to Strategic Security for the CCTV upgrade.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Just got to change your letterhead now.
Yeah, we're working on that. We're coming to you with a budget request for that too. We're going all high tech.
I would think it's in your budget already.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Have a good day. Thank you. Right. And also, congratulations to your
The
Deputy.
deputy
Down.
chief. Down? Congratulations, deputy. Okay, we'll move on to item 6, Town Clerk Ann Dwyer. 6.1, discuss and take possible action on a resolution authorizing the first selectman to sign and execute a contract with the Connecticut State Library for historic documentation preservation grant. Good morning, Ann.
Good morning.
How you doing?
This is a grant for $3,000. We're going to use it to purchase shelving for our vault.
We're running out of room, so we need additional shelving. The total cost is $12,175, and the remaining funds will come from our historic preservation account fund, which I was told by Sandy last week has more than enough money to cover the remaining cost. So I'm just here to ask you to pass the resolution empowering me to apply for the grant.
Okay. Do I have a motion to, first of all, read the resolution and go ahead and make the motion, please?
The motion is resolved that Joe S. Mazza, First Selectman, is empowered to execute and deliver in the name and on behalf of this municipality a contract with the Connecticut State Library for an historic documents preservation grant.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on the resolution to have the First Selectman sign the grant?
No.
Nope.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Just out of curiosity, what is our historic preservation fund?
This is
Where-
money
where
that
did-
we get for recording documents on the land records. For most documents, we receive $1 for each recording.
Okay.
And so it adds up in the end. So, and that money goes right into this fund, and we can only use it for like preservation of our records or equipment, shelving, file cabinets, whatever, helping to, to keep our records safe.
Okay.
So, we do, it's a nice thing.
I knew you did that. It just sounded like historic preservation. It sounded like, something the GBA was in
No,
charge
no,
of.
no buildings. Just books.
Okay.
And it says here that you're gonna use $9,175
Right, from our-
from the fund.
Right,
And I know you have more than that. I don't have the number
we
either.
do.
You-
Sandy told me we had about 59,000.
I think you
So
have enough to
We'll
cover.
have more than enough.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Anna. All right.
Should I skip the next one?
Yeah, town engineer, I don't see him here, so we'll move on. Unless there's an objection. Move on to item 8.1, Finance Director Sheila Valano. Consider and take possible action on a resolution authorizing the First Selectman to enter into a contract and sign all documents necessary to execute the Neighborhood Facilities Program grant with the Department of Social Services of the State of Connecticut for the VFW. Good morning, Sheila.
Good morning.
Morning.
Last May 30th, the State Bond Commission approved funding to actually build a new VFW on the existing site for $1,347,479. So it took some time at the state level to actually get the final contract drafted and sent back to us for signature. So today we need the Board of Selectmen to, again, similar to what you just did, authorize the First Selectman to sign any documents related to the grant and actually execute the town's side of the personal services agreement, which we received from the state.
So even though it's for the VFW, we're still, I remember this from last, involved in the facilitating the grant?
We are
Yeah.
what's considered a pass-through
Yeah.
grantor. The money's just flowing through us.
Yeah.
And they will actually pay the bills,
Okay.
but we will transfer the money to
All right.
them if they.
So we have any responsibility, or that's still on the state to overview?
No, we do have responsibility because
Okay.
we're entering into an agreement with the state.
Okay.
But we've done a lot of due diligence. Pam has done quite a bit of research. I have as well. And basically, it falls under, there's the state, these are bond funds
Yeah.
and through the Urban Act grant, but what the state does is they actually give the administration of the grant to an agency which they feel is appropriate. So this is DSS.
Yep.
And DSS has their own guidelines, and the way this has been structured, it falls under the nonprofit guidelines. It's a little bit different than if we were to be administering a $1 million plus grant. So,
So a little bit more than just a pass-through, but not the same way as if we were actually responsible for the project
right, because
itself.
there's two sets of guidelines at DSS,
Yeah.
nonprofit and municipal.
Yeah.
And this falls under the nonprofit.
Okay.
So, in case there's some questions that our citizens might have, what is our responsibility as far as reporting goes?
Well, technically, we need to do the reporting, but we will work with the VFW because, again, each state agency has their own criteria as far as what they expect of you, and DSS is probably one of the more difficult in terms of paperwork. They really want quarterly reporting. They want a narrative of what's going on, what's happening, what status is the construction in, financial reports quarterly. So that's something that we will do in conjunction with the VFW staff. We've met with them and they've agreed to help us. It's a little bit of a labor-intensive project here, based on the last two projects that we did, being the daycare and youth and family services were similar. But the money does flow through us. So once this contract is executed, they will send 10% directly to us up front, which we will then pass through to the VFW, and they can start their
Okay, and,
design work, or their,
and who will be signing all of the reports?
I am listed on the contract as the finance liaison between the town and, in the contract between basically the town and the state. So I will sign all of those documents, but they will need to help me prepare them because I'm not going to know the status of the project, the ongoing, what stage of construction they're in and so forth. So they'll have to provide me with the information, and then I will send it to the state, and I will sign the financial statements as well, a financial report.
Okay, and if something goes wrong with the project, who's liable?
Well, the project, based on the state bidding guidelines, and Pam has done research on that, there needs to be a performance bond in place. So if there's a problem with the construction, that would fall under the performance bond. Am I right with that?
And would that be our responsibility to pursue, or the VFW's, or the state's?
So the point is,
It's all right. Just make sure you don't see that on camera, that's all.
We apologize for Pam, she's a Blue Devil fan.
If there's any Wisconsin fans, they can sit at the table also. They don't have to say anything, though.
go Devils.
Strike that from the minutes, please.
I don't know, she's blushing enough, she could be a Wisconsin fan for a minute or two.
Technically, the town enters into the construction contracts directly with the contractor. We will go out to bid for the contractor, so the bond will be in favor of the town. So contractually, it is, the town that's, directly contracting with the contractor. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I guess the unfortunate thing is it's a very worthwhile project, and we're glad it's happening, but it does put a burden on
Yeah.
a couple of town departments to get it done, so.
Correct.
Hope the VFW makes you guys honorary members or something.
I'm sure with these two ladies involved, there will be no problem, so.
No.
Right,
Okay, good.
it's just time.
Right, you're right, Gary,
It's
but it
time.
does benefit the whole community, but you're
Yeah.
right, yeah.
It's a worthwhile cause.
Yeah, absolutely. I would move that we approve the resolution that's herein and authorize the first selectman to enter into the contract and proceed.
Second.
Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. Okay, I see we have, we can go back to item 4. If there's any objection going back to item 4?
Nope. Cliff?
Item 4, Board of Education Director of Operations, Cliff Burnham.
Good morning.
Good morning. That's all right. Consider and take possible action to change order number 1 for revised architectural engineering services by Silver Petroselli Associates for the Adams Middle School windows, doors renovations, and securities upgrades. Cliff, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay.
So,
We kind of blew through the beginning of the meeting, so we kind of
Did you?
missed you this morning.
quick. During the Adams design process, we had to make some changes that were not within the original base scope of the architect and engineer. Some of those came from design issues that were brought up with the staff and the principal, and then some of those came out of the changes with the state when they changed or implemented some of the new security upgrade recommendations. So the architect and engineer had to do additional work to satisfy both of those entities. So we did review the amount of work that was done. The SBC went through the hours, made sure that the hours kind of matched the work that was required to satisfy the requirements that we needed to get accomplished. And we came to a mutual amount of $24,500 for a change order for the work that was done for the architectural and engineering plans for the Adams security upgrades. So we're looking at getting approved based upon the recommendation of the Standing Building Committee, the change order number 1 for Silver Petroselli and Associates for $24,500.
Okay. All right, Cliff, this is within the appropriation?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
I know, Pam, is because this is after the fact, the reason that this has to come back to us for approval, because of the dollar amount?
Correct.
Okay, so if it,
the project.
okay.
Yep. And it was, obviously the work was done prior. I've been delayed getting down here to get this approved. And we wanted to thoroughly vet everything, the hours and everything else through the Standing Building Committee before we came back to you, so.
Okay, I guess we need a motion to approve this.
I move we move to do the change order for the revised architectural and engineering services by Silver Petroselli and Associates for the Adams Middle School windows, doors, renovations, and security upgrades.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Further discussion? See none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Thank you, Cliff.
Thank you.
Okay. Jump get the back on track to town engineer, Jim Portley, item 7. Morning, Jim.
Good morning.
Consider and take possible action on proposal contract for material testing services for Westlake Avenue pavement restoration project.
Okay,
Copy of them.
It was emailed to us.
I did, I had grandkids.
Okay. Well, you deleted your email.
I'm lucky I'm here.
know it well. Okay, this week we're starting the pavement preservation project for Westlake Avenue. We had solicited the proposals from Testing Labs, IMTO, Meriden, and Hacks. We've only got one response, and we need to provide, as part of the project, a quality assurance certificate, which means that the contractor, they're responsible for providing design of the pavement mix and testing of their mix, but we have to actually verify that everything is in accordance with the specifications. To do that, we need to have an outside vendor do the nuclear density testing of the pavement, and they have to do cores in the pavement to verify thickness and make sure that the density of the pavement is in compliance with what actually is there, rather than a theoretical density. So, as I said, we solicited proposals from several engineering firms and testing labs, and this is the only one we got. We will be starting work this week. They won't be doing any paving this week. They'll be starting to remove curbs, starting to do some of the work on the drainage that is required up there. But we want to make sure that we have all our ducks in a row. This funding for this part of the project, this testing, comes out of the grant we received from the state We got about $100,000 in incidental costs, and this will cover more than that, but it won't be any town funds in this at all. So I would recommend that the Board of Selectmen approve the hiring of hacks in accordance with their proposal of 3/30/2015.
Yeah, the question I have, aren't we using the millings on this one?
No, we will get millings from this project. They're gonna mill the surface of the
Okay,
road.
then, all right, I was confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be
This
using
is a
millings
mill-
down at Chaffinch Island until the point when we do those jobs.
Okay, okay.
Excuse me? There isn't, it's an hourly, no, there is no specific amount. You do it on the hour. We won't need them every day. We'll call them when we need them. So it won't be a specific amount of money.
Because it's just, it's a testing.
They're doing testing.
This is another LOTSA program. here.
Yes, it is, all under lots of.
And the reason there was only one bid, is this a relatively small job, or
I- you know-
everybody's busy, or?
I think it's busy. I think, I don't know, you know, we've been busy, so I haven't had a chance to call everybody and hammer them and find out why haven't we got a proposal yet. So
Have you seen the state roads lately?
yeah, I think there's probably a lot of scrambling going on and getting projects lined up.
Okay.
All right.
I would move that we approve hacks as the material testing service for the LOTSIP grant project on Westlake Avenue.
Second.
We've used HEX before on other projects.
They're working on the Long Hill Road. It's a different division.
Okay.
This is a testing lab out of Bridgeport. The engineering firm is out of Middletown. But these people have done a lot of the big construction testing. They're pretty well.
Didn't we
pretty
use
reputable.
them on one of the bulkhead projects?
Yes, we did.
I thought
Yeah,
so.
they had to verify our design. I think we hired them because of the standing building committee. I forget who it was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Motions on the floor have been made and seconded. There's no further discussion. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, James. And that starts today, you said.
Yeah, the construction schedule starts this week. You know, they had it April 3rd, what day is it, 5th?
Sixth,
6th.
all day.
Yeah, all day, all right. They're starting this week.
Okay, good.
Jim, could you just ask quick, I'm sorry, the Route 1 construction seemed to be going well, with the whole, you know,
Shift.
Yeah.
And it went well enough.
Okay, and I drove by there a lot,
It
and
took
it
a lot
just
of,
seemed- they had people directing, I'm just giving a different, you know.
yeah. No, they did, I think, a reasonable
Yeah.
job. It was a lot of pushing and pulling to make sure they got everything right.
Yeah,
And we made sure they had people out there directing.
that was key,
Terrific.
because otherwise it would have been,
No,
again,
it
I
would-
knew about it, I was prepared, but it still was good that they were there.
Yeah, no, I think it, and they're supposed, by the way, they're supposed to pave that entrance
Okay.
Wednesday. They used millings to get it in, it worked okay. They got some dress-up work to do, but all in all, it came out pretty smooth.
Okay,
We had a very busy day on Thursday, you can
Yeah.
appreciate
I bet.
it being closed Monday and Tuesday. But it, all in all, it's okay. Get through those days, it's just
Okay.
another day, right, Jeff?
That's it. There'll be a lot of days like that.
No kidding. Oh, yeah.
Item 9, appointments and resignations. Okay, got a whole list there. 9.1, act on a recommendation to appoint Anita Cottardi to the Board of Fire Commissioners to fill a vacancy for a term to expire October 16th, 2017.
So moved.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 9.2, act on a recommendation to appoint Joseph Tragolino as an alternate to the Public Works Commission to fill a vacancy for a term to expire May 31st, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
9.3, act on a recommendation to appoint Gregory Seaman to the Pension Committee to fill a vacancy for a term to expire November 30th, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Act on a recommendation to appoint Jeffrey Parker as an alternate to the Inland Wetlands Commission to fill a vacancy for a term to expire February 28th, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Act on a recommendation to appoint Gregory Latenzi as an alternate to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a term to expire February 28, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Act on a recommendation to reappoint Philip Johnson as an alternate to Planning and Zoning for a term to expire February 28, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
9.7, act on a recommendation to reappoint Josh Hirschman to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a term to expire February 28, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 9.8, act on a recommendation to reappoint John Penders to the Parks and Recs Commission for a term to expire February 28, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. 9.9, act on a recommendation to reappoint Claire Klondike Dunn to the Parks and Recreation Commission for a term to expire February 28, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Request for the use of town property. We have 10.1 through 10.3.
Move that we approve them all. Sorry, Gary. Try to get moving here. 'Cause I've got work. Is that okay?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I just comment, 10.2, didn't we have this before? They put in they want to move the use of the green. Their application says they want a sign, there's no application for the sign. Was this the same organization that we had the issue with before?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Tracy knows why they wanted to move it. I think there was.
I don't mind that they moved it.
another Event on that date on the
Okay.
green, I'm not sure what the conflict was, but
Did they ever put through the sign application?
I would have to check.
Maybe they don't want a sign.
Well, the
I don't
application
know.
says,
Use of the green.
no, but the application says sign and separate application required. They did this before, I think.
Probably did.
You know, we're talking about moving it from June to August.
So you wanna wait till-
We can table
I
this
can
one for
table
the
that.
next meeting. That's
Yeah.
not a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so then I'll amend my motion. So I move to table 10.2.
Okay.
And approve 10.1 and 10.3.
Yeah,
All right, let's take,
the table first, right?
okay, take the table first. Second that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you want to approve 10.1 and 10.3.
Right,
Is that your motion?
yes.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Karen, you have that? Okay, good. All right, correspondence, I have none that I have been able to pass on. Anybody? Committee reports, you want to
Yeah,
talk about
just,
cleanup day?
the cleanup day is gonna be Saturday, May 2nd. We will be on the green from 8 AM to 2 PM with bags, gloves, and other materials, maps included in areas that really need your help cleaning up in Guilford. I'll be getting a list about a week and a half ahead of time of areas that are definitely in need of special attention. We appreciate all of you coming out to help, all different organizations. We've got a list of a number of people so far, so we look forward to your helping. There is a rain date set for Sunday, May 3rd, so if it's really pouring out on Saturday and it's hard for us to be on the green, then we'll switch to Sunday. But hopefully it won't rain, and we'll have a beautiful day.
Cindy, don't put Norton or Orchid on your list.
Okay, because you're doing it?
I do.
All right. I am. I'm putting it on the list and saying Gary's doing it.
I just.
I know you
It may
do.
not be done on the second, but it gets
All
done
right.
every time.
I have it. I have everybody from last year, so you're on. So, thank you, Gary.
You know, take care of our neighborhood, but it won't be on the second or third. It'll be sometime. Okay, all right. Okay. Old business, the only thing that I would like to bring up is to remind all seniors who were part of the tax program this past year, if they want to be part of it for the coming year, to register or apply with the assessor's office. Time is running out. You have until May 15th to be part of the tax freeze program. Please don't forget to visit the assessor's office. The date that you have to file by is May 15th. So time, you know, you've got a little more than a month to file, so don't delay. Weeks go by pretty quickly. Right, that's May 15th is the deadline. That's all I have at the moment. And I also want to mention that it's come to Gary's attention, and Gary's brought it to my attention, that there's a rumor going around that the new high school might cause some seniors to be knocked off the senior tax freeze. That's not true. That's really not true. Right, Gary?
Right.
I mean,
One has nothing to do with the other,
it
right?
has nothing to do.
They have
One has
nothing to do with
nothing
each other.
to do with the other. I don't know who started that rumor, but please, that if you want to be part of that program and think you qualify, and you have been part of that program in the past, and you have not applied for it yet, please go down and see the assessor with your tax returns by May 15th, okay? That's all I have to say about that. Any new business? Anybody? Gary?
The only thing I would say, I've also got a couple of comments from people who have apparently read the resolutions that will be on the referendum to include the fact that there is bonding money in there for the high school, and that's not true. There's school money in there for technical upgrades for some of the other schools, safety upgrades for some of the schools, but there is nothing in there for the high school. And I apologize for not immediately contradicting the people that approached me, but they caught me by surprise. I was in the grocery store and I said, maybe there is something in there that I forgot about or didn't see, and I went back and read them 3 times, and there is nothing in there for the high school. So those are totally separate projects and need to be evaluated on their own merit.
Okay. And that's a good segue to new business. The vote on the budget and the 4 bonding questions, which Gary just alluded to, is April 21st at all 5 voting districts, voting places. That would be from, I believe, 7 in the morning till 8 at night. On April 21st, it's a Tuesday. I don't know when this is going to be aired, but it's going to be about 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, because today's the 6th. So that's April 21st from 7 till 8, 7 in the morning, 8 in the evening, on the budget and the 4 bonding questions. There's 2 regarding the town and 2 regarding the Board of Education. None of them, like Gary said, have to do with the new high school, okay? Kevin?
Nope, nothing.
Gary, any more?
We
Okay.
have a meeting tomorrow night.
Yeah, I don't know when this is going to add, but April 7th, which is tomorrow night, this is April 6th, is the annual budget meeting. Okay.
Which hopefully will be over in an hour because the NCAA women's finals start at 8:30.
All right, item 15, public forum. I don't see anybody that wishes to address the board, so I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned at 6 minutes after 9. Thank you.